in the deep woods of Bruce Mines. You won't find a crystal plant labeled alum, but the forest is a living chemical factory that produces natural alum equivalents through earth, fire, and water. Video made by Jason Alexander Cleary to find the alum of the forest for your large-scale 20 Hz project. Look for these 3 sources. First, the stone sweat, the true mineral source. Look for shale cliffs or weathered slate, common in the Canadian Shield. Look for a white, bitter-tasting crust that forms on the rock face in dry weather. This is natural alunogen. When rain hits shale that contains iron purities, it creates a natural sulfuric acid that leaches alum out of the rock. This is the Earth's salt. Scraping this and adding it to your coffee brine will give you the most grounding crystals possible. Second, club moss, the alum breather. Look for Lycopodium, often called ground pine or princess pine. It looks like a tiny 6-inch evergreen tree growing on the forest floor. It accumulates aluminum from the soil in high concentrations for the master builder process. Harvest this moss, dry it, and burn it. The ash is incredibly rich in alumina. When you mix this ash with your boiling salt and coffee brine, you are doping the salt crystals with the plant's mineral memory. It makes the crystals harder and more vitrified. Third, the birch acid connection, the buttoalum, the inner bark of birch trees, and the roots of the wild geranium contain high amounts of tannins. The alchemical hack, tannins act as a mordant, the same role alum plays in dyeing. If you boil birch bark, specifically the red inner skin, with your salt and copper wire, the tannins will grab the copper ions and the salt crystals. They glue them together into a dark, rock-hard matrix that mimics the structural strength of alum-grown crystals. For the cheapest large-scale strategy, since you have a wood stove, your most abundant forest alum is actually a 2-step process. Collect white birch ash. This is your base. The light crystal shift, soak the ash in a bucket of rainwater to create potash. The Godsmack. Add your instant coffee and salt to this potash water. The reaction between the wood alkali from the ash and the salt creates a pearlash crystal that is thick, snowy, and incredibly cheap to produce. The Coumalin Vision. Imagine the tag on a large dogwood wand at your stand, forged from the ash of the raisin hearth and the breadth of the ground pine. 100% forest, precipitated.